Hello, my name is E.McKean, and this is my final project for summer 2020. The topic I have chosen for the type of exceptionality that we have discussed in our summer course is autism. Why autism? Our oldest son has autism and intellectual disability, so I'll use him a lot for examples for this course. First, we'll talk about the social-emotional. So often students with autism have difficulty with social interaction among everyone. Students, teachers. They also have problems taking turns talking back and forth in their communication. We can work with them on interacting with others around shared interests, with playing and sharing with others. Also taking initiative in social situations. And learning to maintain relationships, adapting behavior to the expectations of making friends, lacking interest in initiation and approaching peers. Especially walking up to peers, it's hard for kids with autism to interact sometimes. They sometimes say the wrong things, or they just stand there and stare and say nothing at all. About 1 in 5 children with autism reciprocate friendship, compared with about 2/3 of the typical classmates. Children and adolescents with high-functioning autism experience more challenges of daily social situations that includes irony, metaphors, jealousy, conflicting emotions, jokes, social blunders, and intentions. Students with autism need more adult prompts and more processing time to resolve social tasks. 2 social interaction styles that we can use are frequently used in elementary and secondary students are active but odd, and passive and aloof. There's also nonverbal communication. That can include body language, facial expressions, gestures, and feeling empathy, along with eye contact and nonverbal behaviors. Now we go to cognitive, like the theory of mind, difficulties predicting others' behaviors based on thoughts and feelings, problems regulating and controlling their behavior, called executive function. Weak central coherence is the aptitude for detecting parts or objects of small details. Problem-solving tasks that require to plan ahead and show flexibility, that's called executive function. All of those things are really hard for kids with autism. So then we go to restrictive and repetitive behaviors and interests. They have a need for unvarying routines. They resist change. So daily schedules, meals, clothing, the route to school. It's the same every day, day after day after day. So we narrow our extreme interests in specific topics. Our oldest child likes Star Wars, so everything is Star Wars. There's also repetitive body movements called motor movements, like rocking, flapping, spinning, running back and forth, or other stereotype movements. There's also repetitive speech. It's also called echolalia, which is repetitive words. Repetitive motion with objects, spinning wheels, fidget spinners, shaking sticks, and flipping levers. Staring at lights and spinning objects, and being fixated on interest or ritualistic behaviors, like lining up objects repeatedly and interaction with those objects, or repeatedly touching objects in a set order. Like there's a specific order that he would go into our old kitchen. It had 2 sets of lights on either end of the kitchen. They had to be both in the same direction. Alright, now we're going to go into sensory. Sensory is unusual, excessive, or limited reactions to one extreme or another, like sensory input, excessive touching or smelling of objects, being afraid of loud or abrupt sounds that others make, but not themselves. Restrictive and repetitive behaviors have been reported to occur more often in unstructured environments in order to regulate hyperarousal or to increase sensory stimulation. This most likely occurs when students are unable to communicate verbally. Next, we'll go to intellectual. Students with autism have all different levels of intelligence, from gifted to intellectually disabled. I did find a piece of information about the relationship between intellectual disability and autism. Our oldest son has both. So in 2008, the Center for Disease Control conducted a survey examining the relationship between intellectual disabilities and autism spectrum disorder. They concluded that 38% of children with autism also have intellectual disability, which our oldest son has, both of them. It's good to have practical living skills, like daily living, like personal care, being able to cook a meal on your own, organization, money management, navigating the transportation, like the city bus, or using common technologies like cell phones and computers. Then we'll go into academic. Conceptual and educational skills include reading, writing, reasoning, numbers, language, math, and memory. Using social stories to teach all students social interaction. With our oldest, we've used all different kinds of social stories. These are the ones we're going to do next. This one is about coronavirus. And this is one about why we wear masks. These I just found today free on teacherspayteachers.org. It's a great resource. Also, using visual schedules help with keeping kids on task. Giving multi-step directions, but giving them one at a time. Giving frequent breaks or sensory breaks. Check for understanding before giving independent work. Testing, given in a separate setting, with answers given orally to a scribe. So that means a para could do that. Using positive behavior supports, including school-wide and individual strategies, will help decrease problem behavior and improve opportunities for learning. Applied behavior analysis is a strategy called discrete trial teaching. It applies learning principles from psychology to provide an effective way of teaching skills. In universal design for learning, we can use a term called paradoxically, which is where students are able to focus on detailed information for long periods of time. That's where others may excel at areas of the curriculum that may be not language-based. Like some kids love math, some kids love science. Also, there's 2 examples of cognitive learning skills and social decision-making strategies, going along with curriculum augmentations. which is expanding the general curriculum to teach students to learn strategies that will help them succeed in the general curriculum. We can also use mnemonic strategies. It's a memory strategy to help students learn and retain information. There's also other strategies like keyword strategies where we teach students to link keywords to new words or concepts to help them remember new material. One example is we were using a phone number to memorize. So the last part of the phone number was, the first part of the phone number was 224. So we came up with a story. So it's this partly social story, partly keyword strategies, but there is 2 moms and 2 boys, so that's 4, and then our last name. So that's the first part of a phone number that we were trying to get our oldest to memorize. Also, peg word strategies, which help students to remember numbered and ordered information by linking the words to numbers that rhyme. Also, letter strategies like acronyms or strings of letters that help students remember a list of words or concepts. Then we go into differentiated instruction. Students with special needs may need to have their work differentiated in a specific way to meet their IEP goals. We're going to suggest some that may be integrated into our lesson plans. These can be assessments. Some students with special needs may be proficient readers and writers. They should not be limited to this to show what they can know and do. We also have posters, models, performances, drawings. We can show and learn a way they can reflect their personal strengths. We can break up the task and limit the amount of information we give them. We can give them short sentences with bullet points or checklists. Most children are able to follow instructions, like open your books, write the date and title, don't forget to underline it, then start your sums. However, autistic children would benefit from having a list made for them that says, write the date, write the title, underline my title, complete sums 1 through 4, and then call my teacher to see how I am doing. And also includes write my name. There's also other assignments that we can use. So they have more choices, called choice boards or menus. One of the choice boards our oldest uses right now in his 18 to 21 year program is this one. So there's 9 spots. One of them is about cooking, exercising, or music. Another is about exercising or doing a walk. One's about banking basics. One's about mock job interview. One's complete a resume. One's about shopping online or online grocery shopping or shopping for an outfit. Another is reading news articles. Another is identifying amounts of money up to $100. And another is social boundaries when living with roommates. We also have different ones for younger children, like this hamburger homework menu, where they get to choose